Hi, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's lesson in relation to expressions and idioms that we use in English on a daily basis. So, yesterday we started this project and we started to explain lots of expressions that we use in English. And I think that we finished with the expression blackmail. So, blackmail was the last expression we explained yesterday, and I will just type it into the chat here. The verb is to blackmail, and this really means similar to manipulating a person and trying to take advantage of a person, particularly when you have some sensitive information or private gossip or private information about this person. You try to blackmail the person. So that was the last expression we looked at yesterday. And now I will try to explain the new list and the new words from today. The first word is a blessing in disguise, and this is the first expression that we have in English, which is similar to an idiom, which are basically the same. But first, we must understand that the verb is to bless, and this is typical in a religious context. For instance, the priest might bless the baby, or the priest might bless the people, or you can bless yourself. And in fact, when a person sneezes, we typically respond in English, bless you. So that is very important for sure. However, the noun is a blessing, and we need to know this very, very well. It means that it's something that is good and fortunate and positive. It's considered a blessing. It's considered very, very good. Now, we must understand the significance of the verb to disguise, and the noun is also a disguise. This is similar to the verb to hide. So if you try to disguise the problem, you try to hide the problem and cover the problem. In a similar way, a disguise is like a costume or a cover. And at Halloween, typically we have a costume, but a disguise is a little different because your intention is to try and hide your identity, to try and hide your appearance. Therefore, there is a little difference between a disguise and a costume. Okay, so the expression a blessing in disguise basically means something is good, positive, and fortunate, even though it does not appear or look like it is good. For instance, you lose your job, and this appears to be very, very bad. However, because you lose your job, the next day you receive an amazing offer, surprise, to work in a better company. Therefore, losing your job is a blessing in disguise. So it appears to be very negative, but in fact, it is very, very positive, and that's a very famous and well known expression. Next, we look at the famous expression as well, a blind date. And the adjective blind is when the person cannot see. So a date is usually the romantic context when you arrange to meet two people, usually for dinner or something like a movie, and with the romantic intention of finding a partner. And a blind date is when you organize this meeting and you have never seen the person before. So it's a very risky activity, a risky date, and you have never seen this person before. Therefore, it is a blind date. We have a few more expressions in relation to blind. We say it is like the blind leading the blind, and this means the first person has no idea of the direction or the way, and the other people have no idea of the direction. So nobody has an idea about what way is the correct way to go. Therefore, it is similar to the blind leading the blind. Also, we say love is blind, and this means basically it's more emotional and unpredictable. Love is a bit unpredictable and difficult to find and difficult to read. So love is blind. It's very hard to predict who will fall in love or who will be attracted to one another. And that is a very famous expression. However, on the list here, the expression is a blind date. Next, we continue with the colors, and we have the expression blood red. So when you are describing a color in particular, of course, red is very well known, but if it's a particular type or shade of red, we can call it blood red, if in fact it is that color. So if something is blood red, that is a very clear description of the color of something. Perhaps on YouTube, the color is blood red, perhaps. Okay, we continue with the next expression related to blood, and we say blood, sweat, and tears. This is very, very famous, and it means that you commit and you give all of yourself to a particular project or a person. So you are building a house and you are constructing the house. This construction takes a lot of your body physically. In fact, you give blood to the project. It takes a lot of sweat. When you exercise, you have sweat. So the project requires a lot of sweat, and emotionally, the project requires a lot of commitment. Therefore, you are crying because you are emotional in terms of your dedication to the project. So, blood, sweat, and tears is a very famous expression, and we use it quite a lot when you are dedicated to a particular topic. Next, we look at a very interesting expression, to blow a fuse, and the verb to blow is like this. Number one, you blow the candle, and to blow up means to explode. And in this situation, to blow is similar to explode. A fuse is for electricity. When you have the cable normally finishes in a fuse, and therefore, when you have excess cable, excess electricity, you explode the fuse and you blow up the fuse. This is a metaphor for a person when the person is working hard and is very patient, but finally the person becomes furious and very angry and they explode, they blow a fuse as well. So it's a very well known expression. We have lots of expressions related to the verb to blow. For instance, the noun is a blow in, and this is very famous. It means that a person has just arrived only a short time ago, typical in the context of a business. If a person has just arrived as the new person, this person is known as a blow in. Therefore, we expect the person might leave very soon and will not be part of the company. So he or she is just a blow in. So there's lots of expressions in relation to blow. But we continue with the next expression, and it is to blow up in your face. And this is very similar in the terms of explode. So when you try to organize and control the situation, it's a very delicate situation, and you try to control the situation. However, you lose control of the situation and the problem explodes in your face. That is a very well known expression, that something has blown up in your face and it's a catastrophe, it's chaos, it's mayhem, and it's not good as well, as you can imagine. Next, we look at the expression which is well known also, blue blood. If a person has blue blood, they are considered to be from a wealthy, a royal, or a noble family. If the person has blue blood, they are known to be from a rich, aristocratic, and wealthy, noble family. The person has blue blood, like a royal family as well. In a similar sense, we have an expression which looks similar but completely different. This is your collar of your shirt. And if a person is a blue collar worker, it means that maybe the person is a physical worker in terms of labor and construction, or perhaps in the public service, such as a bus driver, a policeman, or a policewoman. They would be a blue collar worker. Alternatively, a white collar worker is a person who is working in a banking industry, a professional services industry, the legal industry, such as a lawyer or a solicitor. They are white collar workers as well. Next, we continue with the color blue, and we say you are blue in the face. And this is very, very interesting because you can imagine explaining a concept to a person, and you explain again and again and again, and you become very frustrated explaining the problem. Eventually, you become blue in the face because you are tired of explaining the simple problem to somebody. And that's a very well-known expression, that you are blue in the face. You are tired explaining something to somebody. Next, we continue with the expression blue ribbon. And this is a little bit difficult to explain, I suppose, but the ribbon is part of the decoration. When you decorate a present, when you decorate an object, you have a ribbon. And a ribbon is the object that you tie, okay? And frequently, when a government minister or a celebrity or an important person, a VIP, opens a building, opens a monument, they cut the ribbon. Okay, so to cut the ribbon represents opening the ceremony, opening the building, or starting the new office or building, and that means to cut the ribbon. However, a blue ribbon event is typically the competition that is considered very important, very prestigious, and you have the ribbon. When you win the competition, it's blue. It's a blue ribbon event. It's a very prestigious competition. In fact, you can say you are in ribbons, and this means you are in very bad condition. You are in a very bad way. You are in ribbons, perhaps after your holiday, after your party, and now you're in a very bad condition. You are in ribbons. Okay. Next, we see the expression a bolt from the blue, and this is very well known also. But the verb is to bolt, and also a bolt is typical for lightning. When we see lightning, we have like a ray of lightning, and this is also known as a bolt of lightning. Therefore, when the blue is reference to the sky or to heaven, and a bolt from the blue is a metaphor for something surprising or shocking that appears suddenly from the sky. It's a bolt from the blue. And that basically means it's a complete surprise. For instance, your friend messaged you yesterday, contacted you yesterday, and it was a complete surprise. Therefore, this message was a bolt out of the blue. So it's very interesting for sure. Next, we look at the expression a bookworm. And a worm is a little insect that lives in the ground, and obviously it moves at a slow pace. However, a person who spends a lot of time reading books, or a person who spends a lot of time studying, is known in English informally as a bookworm. And this is a way to say that the person lives in books. A person spends a lot of time reading, and this person is a bookworm. With the verb worm, we have a lot of expressions as well. We say to worm out of a commitment, and this means to find a way to avoid doing something. So you worm out of a commitment, and this means that you are finding a way to avoid doing this commitment. So you're worming out of a commitment. Okay, so that's very well known as well. Alternatively, you can worm your way in, and this means that you try very, very hard to enter a place or to enter with a person in terms of being close. And if you worm your way in, you are behaving like a worm, maybe in a negative sense, and you get your objective, you achieve your objective. Okay. Next, we have the expression born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And this is well known also. So if you can imagine, the baby is born with a silver spoon in the mouth. This means the person is considered very rich and very wealthy, and never had any problems with money or never had any financial difficulties. The family are very wealthy. Therefore, this baby was born with a spoon, a silver spoon in their mouth. And this represents the fact that the family are very rich and very wealthy as well. So that is a very interesting expression for sure. Next, we have the expression the bottom falls out. And this is basically connected to a bottle. So in your bottle, you have your plans, you have your life, you have your project. And when the bottom falls out, it's a catastrophe because you lose your project, you lose your content, and you lose everything connected to your plans. So if the bottom falls out of your project, this means that you are losing your content, you're losing all your preparation and all your plans as well. In fact, if your stomach is very upset and you are feeling very sick, this expression may also be applied in that situation if you need to visit the bathroom frequently. I will leave it there at that for your imagination. Next, we look at the expression which is very well known as well. It is to brainstorm. And basically, when a lot of people are sitting in the one place and discussing a project, chatting about ideas, discussing ideas, and bouncing ideas off each other, we normally say this is the verb to brainstorm. And it's to discuss, it's to chat, it's to debate all the possible ideas, the avenues, the ways, and this is, in fact, to brainstorm. We look at the next expression, and it is a breadwinner. A breadwinner is basically the person in the family who produces all the salary to buy the product. So if you are the breadwinner in the family, you are the person in the family who is able to provide for the family in terms of food. You are the breadwinner. In a similar way, we can say bring home the bacon, and this means you are returning home with the food for the family. You are returning home with the money for the family. You are returning home with the trophy, with the medal, and with the prize as well. You are bringing home the bacon, and that's very well known as well in English. Next, we have an expression that a broken watch is twice right, or is right twice a day. And this is very interesting. The significance is that yes, it's true. If your watch is broken, for instance, my watch stops at 4 p.m. And in fact, in 4 p.m. in the day and 4 p.m. in the morning, my watch will still be correct. So this is a metaphor to say that everybody is usually correct sometimes, even though most of the time they are incorrect. So it's a very nice expression to represent that some people are correct sometimes, even though they are probably incorrect a lot of other times as well. So a broken watch is twice right, or right twice a day. To buckle down is the next expression. And a buckle is related to your belt. When you tie your belt, you have a buckle, and this connects and closes your belt. And it's also typical on a bag. You have a buckle on your bag. And basically, it means the verb to buckle. In your seat belt, you say to buckle up. And this means to close your seatbelt. Okay, so to buckle up means to close your seatbelt. And in a similar way, to buckle down means you need to start concentrating, start focusing, and stop dreaming, stop traveling, stop moving. You need to buckle down and to work hard to concentrate and to focus. So you must buckle down. Next, we look at the expression a bun in the oven. This is a type of food like a cake if you have a bun, but if you are cooking and you put the bun in the oven, this means you are preparing to eat the food and it is almost ready. But this is a metaphor when a person is pregnant. If the woman is carrying the baby in her body, this is the metaphor that this is like a bun in the oven and it will be ready in a little time as well. So somebody has a bun in the oven, and this means the person is pregnant as well. To burn the midnight oil is an interesting expression as well, because today we have electricity, we have light thanks to electricity, but in the past, to create light, they needed a candle and the oil to light the oil to create the light. So today, if you are burning the oil, and in fact the midnight oil, this means that you must stay awake, stay alert during the night to work or to study as well. almost through the night and you are burning the midnight oil. Next, we say to butter somebody up. And when we speak about food and cooking food, for example, a turkey or a chicken, when you are preparing the turkey and the chicken, you need to cover the chicken and the turkey in butter, and this creates a tastier, more delicious meal. So when you are trying to achieve or obtain something from a person, you must cover them in butter before you achieve your success with that person. And this is the expression to butter somebody up, for instance, to praise, to compliment, to say many good things about that person before you make your request from that person. So you are trying to butter this person up. Next, we have a little expression here, by degrees, and I don't understand it perfectly. I think it means just a little bit. For example, you won the race just by degrees, by a little bit. Okay, so just by a little is the significance of by a degree. However, the next expression is very interesting. We say by the skin of my teeth. This is very famous, and of course, your teeth don't have a lot of skin. In fact, they almost have no skin. So, this is the point. When you try to catch the bus and you arrive by the skin of your teeth, this means that you arrive just in time with no extra time to spare, and you arrive by the skin of your teeth. You did it by the skin of your teeth, just did it. In Spanish, they say por los pelos. Okay, and that's a very interesting expression. So that's it. That's all of the letter B for today. And hopefully tomorrow we can continue with this type of activity and this type of lesson, starting with letter C. And remember, if you're watching this recorded, you can follow me on Facebook. In the mornings, I do a class in relation to grammar. And during the day, I do some lessons in relation to vocabulary on Facebook Live. And I'm also doing some lessons on Facebook Live and YouTube Live in the afternoon, like now, in relation to idioms and expressions. So I'm hoping to promote my work. I'm hoping to promote my channels online. And that is my intention at the moment, to do this. So hopefully you can connect and you can join and you can follow us on the journey. Great. So thank you so much. Have a great day and hopefully talk to you soon. And thank you for your interest and for participating, and keep in touch. Bye bye.